Well, hey guys, welcome back. Okay, I've got something special for you this weekend. Now, in the past, I've brought you guys to many gold and silver mines, but this one here specialized in secondary metals. What you see behind me here is an incline shaft, and from 1921 to 1969, they brought 8,400 tons of ore out of this mine. Now, some of the minerals that they brought out of here were lead, zinc, copper, manganese, iron, vanadium, strontium, and barite. Okay? But before we head down into that incline, there is some subsurface stoping going on that direction and this direction. So I think what I want to do is explore that first, and then we'll start working the manway down into the bottom of this incline. So down below me here, we've got a stope with a ladder going down to the first drift. I'm not going to go down that way because more than likely when we go down the manway of the incline shaft, it's just going to meet up down there anyways. But behind me here, there's a ladder that goes up into this subsurface stope right here. So let's go up there first. So there's looking down towards that first drift level. Now we've got a ladder on somewhat of an ugly looking false floor right here. And what I want to do I'm going to go up this ladder so that we can get to this subsurface level. Let's hope that that thing holds. There we go. Okay. Let's see what we can find up in here. Just a smaller stoped out area. Okay. So looking above me here, you can see those pillars, and you can, let's see here. Using the laser, you can clearly see the thickness of the vein that they were going after. A lot of times the miners had to leave those pillars in place to offer support for the back of the mine or in the stope that they were working in. All right, let's work our way back over to the incline shaft. All right, we're headed over to that incline. Now, right above my head here, that goes outside to an ore bin. I gotta get around all this. There we go. All right, time to work our way down the old ladders. Let's see how good a shape these are in. So when you're working your way down these old ladders, what I like to do is make sure that you only have 1 foot per rung going down, and I keep my feet off to the sides to help distribute my weight better. But already, yep, right over here we've got a drift. Let's explore that one next. So I worked my way over here to this other drift. What I'm standing on right here is all false floor. Underneath me, there's a stope that goes all the way down, gosh knows, probably 100 feet or more. There's wood underneath me right here, and all that wood's been covered up with these rocks, completely camouflaging the top part of this stope. Behind me here, the stope continues on and goes on down to the next level. But I wanted to point this out to you guys. In a lot of these mines, you can be walking on what you think is rock, but just below that, it's nothing but wood with hundreds of feet below you that could break through. All right. Let's continue on down these old ladders. See if we can't get to the next level. So far, these are in pretty good shape. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm going to work our way over to this next one. And I'm also looking for other drifts. few rocks falling on my head here. There we go. And here we are at our first drift. We have rail going off that way. We've got the decline as well as continuing off that way. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to take you guys, what we've got going on here. The incline is going down that way over there, okay? That you've got drifts going this way and that way. So I'm going to work everything to the left for right now. Oh, look out. Hold on a second there. Yeah, no, we're okay. We're all right. It's just a road flare. I thought we had a stick of dynamite here for a second. But right next to it is some old, there's some blasting fuse right there. Yeah, that one caught me off guard. Jeez. All right. You got to be careful in these old mines. You don't want to step on any unexploded dynamite, and you certainly don't want to step on a blasting cap, because that'll take a toe off real quick. Here we have something. Timken carbide insert rock bits. Oh, there's some literature on the inside. What's it say? A note from a miner? What could it be? Oh. Suggestions for the proper use of Timken carbide insert rock bits. What to do and why it's done. Well, that's neat. All right. Let's fold that back up. Put that in there. Cool artifact. Okay, continuing on. Ah, more paperwork. I see something here. What's this? Prevention of accidents in the use of explosives, dated February 1st, 1964. That probably came shipped in a case of dynamite. Looks like we're coming up to the face, guys. But you can clearly see right here the size of the vein that they're working. Look, there's the hanging wall. Here's the footwall. That vein is probably 5 feet across through here. And here we're into the face of the mine. All right, let's work our way down into the right side of this drift. We got to be real careful here. They had a door covering up this manway. That's going to take us into the lower levels of this mine down there. But before we head down, we got to get around the decline safely. Let's hold on to the rails here. Just like that. Well, we have a decision to make. Left or right? You guys know the rule. Come on. Right hand rule. The geology in here is absolutely beautiful. I'm seeing all kinds of calcification. We've got limonites, silver sulfides just all through here. There's that ore bin from the upper stope. Looks like we're coming up to what could be an air door. We have a raise. There's a raise right there. Is it going to be an air door or is it going to be a winds? Oh, it's definitely an ore pass. Yeah. We've got an ore pass here from that first stope when we started things off earlier. Well, let's see if we can get around it here without knocking the board on our heads and getting ourselves all full of cactus thorns. Oh goodness. All right. This is at the very, ooh, that's a spider web I don't want to stick my face into. Okay, no sense in coming any further because it just goes right over here to the face of the mine, but you can see the vein. There's a really nice right there. Look at that. And I have a whole big shin full of cactus thorns that I have to pull out now. All right, time to go this way. Hey, we've got some pieces of pipe. Looks like what's left of an old battery and isolator. Lots of wind coming out of this up here. We may revisit this here in a little bit, but let's continue on. Yeah, there's been some modern prospectors down in here. Oh, looky here, we've got another winds going down with ladders and a false floor here. And working its way up that direction. Well, I'll be darned. Boy, I don't know what to do now. Okay. I want to go see what's up there. Look here, guys. We need to go take a look at this winds. See where this goes. Now outside there is another shaft right next to the incline shaft, which makes me wonder that this could possibly be it. Well, all we can do is find out, huh? It's up there. Oh, wow. Okay. There's a, wow, we got a mouse nest. Ouch, 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 ouch. Leave that sticker out of my leg. An old rope, and it keeps on going. Okay, let's keep on going. I know we've got to be getting near the surface because the floor is just filled with cactus stickers from pack rats. Ooh, yeah, look at all that up in there. Yikes. All right, well, I'm gonna try to take you guys as far as I can. Oh, there's the pack rat. There he is, right there. I'm gonna take you as far as I can take you up into this thing. Here's an artifact. Right there. Oh, it's just like from the 60s. A can of touch-up paint. All right. See what else we can find through the pack rat nest. Goodness. There he is. What are you doing, guy? Yeah, I know, we're in your house. All right. And that old ladder keeps going up, and it's definitely to that outside shaft. From the amount of airflow, I can tell we're only maybe 50, 75 feet from the surface. Okay, we're gonna head back down. See you down there. So I'm working my way further on down these ladders, and that little can of touch-up paint I just showed you briefly, I took a closer look at it. It's from the 1960s. It's Toyota touch-up paint. That's what it is. Color number 5. I mean, I'm only guessing it's from the 60s. It certainly looks 60s to me, but that's not what I wanted to show you guys. What I wanted to show you guys is while I'm working my way down these ladders, down here on the ground, there was this really strange looking material laying here, and it didn't match any of the surrounding rock. So I couldn't figure out what it was, and then I finally did, and here's what it is. So at some point in time, they were taking core samples of this entire mountain. Here's a 4-inch diameter core right here. So they drilled through the mountain from the top. The drill came through, worked its way right down. Here you can see it was turning and it brushed up against the wall, and then it continues on down into the mountain right there. So while they were drilling, it was pulling up these small pieces of rock right here. Pretty cool. So that tells me that they've assayed this entire mountain, looking at all those core samples. Guys, we made it back down to this level that was coming in from the primary incline shaft. We've got another one going down right here, but I think what we're going to do is hold off on this for a moment. Let's work our way back to the primary incline, keep on going down, and see if we can find some more drifts. Then later on, we might come back and revisit this. All right, time to head back down this incline. First, we got to get over that. That's pretty cool. Look at the size of these boards here where they ran that skip car. But now we've got to work our way down in this old manway. Remember earlier, this is where I showed you that door. So let's see how good these ladders are. Yeah, that darn backpack always gets caught. All right. We're just working our way down these ladders here. Let's see if I can. They're pretty tight. So we're going to try to get down to that next drift. See you down there. Okay guys, we made it here to the 150 level. And once I got off the ladders, the first thing I found, here we have some blasting fuse. And the reason why it's in that configuration right there, they put it all together so that they could run each one of these off to a different charge into the face of the mine. They just left it lay. That's where it was. Behind me over here is a big stope. And so I'm going to show you that here real quick. Take a look at this stope. They have rail running across the stalls. It went out that way. And it goes all the way back up to the next drift level where we just came from. But let's see if we can just step out right over here. I want to take a peek That rail looks pretty sturdy. Let's take a look over the edge here. You know me, I like to look over the edge. Yeah, that's pretty steep down in there, but there's no sense in working our way through the stalls to get to the bottom, because that's just going to go down to the next drift. Okay, let's work our way back to the other side of the incline and go that direction. Okay, let's work our way to the other side. I still cannot see the bottom of that incline. Ooh, look at what we have here. Ew. Yuck. What do we have? There's a dead miner's cat. Right there. Yuck. Okay. So we're gonna head off this direction and see what we can find. All right. Let's see where this goes. Well, we've got the old compressor pipe is headed off that direction. We'll come back, we'll revisit that. For right now, let's just observe the right-hand rule, see where this goes. Ooh, we've got a false floor here with some old Smokin' Joe's purple tobacco. Smokin' Joe's 100s. All right, that's as far as it goes here. But out on this false floor, oh yeah, I can see where they're working the top of this stope. So what we have here is, in the past I've explained to you guys how what they do when they put these stalls across. They're not only being used to hold up the back of the mine, but it also acts as so you can build a platform to get out across the top of the stope. Okay, the planking through here is really thick, and down below me it's only about maybe 5 to 8 feet. So I'm going to show you this. Okay, see down in there? We're going to work our way and stay on top of these big stalls. There we go. Oh, we've got ourselves a winze over here. Let's get over to that direction. Now, can I step on that? Oh yeah, that's a good board. Yeah. Let's look down there. Yep. We've got another winze going down. But again, I think that that's going to go to another level. We're going to stay on the primaries today, so we may come back and revisit this. All right, now we're working our way over here on this next drift. And I wonder if it's going to meet up with those ladders, because that's the direction it's going. Let's find out. Nope, it's just going to go right underneath that stoped area where we just were. Okay, we're going to head back to the incline. Back at the incline, okay, there's where we're going. I'm sure by now you guys have seen me walk up and down plenty of ladders, so I'm just going to meet up with you guys down there at the next drift. We'll see if it's at the 200 or the 250. We'll meet you down there. All right, we made it to the 200 level. Check this out. This is where we came from. Gotta be real careful. Again, we're on a platform here. This is false floor, but look. So the miners put in carbide 200. Somebody else came in here and wrote 183. So, you know, close enough, but that's where we're at. The decline still keeps going down, and we still are gonna have to go that way. But before we do, like I said, we're going to keep exploring everything to the left first. So let me show you that stuff. Next week on Abandoned and Forgotten Places. Wow, look at this, guys. All right, we've got artifacts all over the place. Oh, we've got a box. Yeah, here's the dynamite box. Guys, look at what I found. Oh my